Okay, we've got to talk about this crazy UFO footage from Iran. We've got that and a lot more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, this is from Casper Spite, sharing some videos from Iran purporting to be a UFO event. This is from multiple camera angles, supposedly by multiple people. Let me know what you think. Let's review the footage. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Look at that. What? That can't be real. That can't be real, right? Surely that is not real. But here we go. Multiple camera angles from different people supposedly showing this object with this glowing green ring and those other lights, looking very much like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind UFO. I don't know what to think of this. And okay, here we go though. From, like I say, from multiple different people showing this same object, seemingly in different places in Tehran. What is this? What are we looking at? Is this real? Could this possibly be real? There was a case, I want to say Jerusalem, from a few years ago, where there was a UFO film from multiple camera angles, and it turned out to be some friends playing a prank. It was a hoax. It wasn't real, but it looked very convincing to a lot of people because it was from multiple camera angles. So just because it's multiple camera angles does not mean it's legit. But, it does make it more compelling. What the hell? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at? This is crazy. All right, look at that. Look at that. That can't be real. Surely. Of course, when it's all blurry and, out of focus, we say, why can't we get some clear footage? And then when we do get clear footage, it's too good to be true, right? What is this? Of course, it would make a lot more compelling if the people that took this footage would come out publicly talking about it. Hoaxers don't usually like to go public. Sometimes they do. But a group of them all coming out, saying their own experiences with this object and filming this object, that would be very compelling. So we'll have to wait and see if any of these people in Iran come forward talking about this. But I'm at the moment I'm thinking there's got to be a mundane explanation, whether it's a fancy drone or CGI and a hoax. I tend to doubt that's a real UFO. That looks too good to be true. At one point, it makes a warbling noise. That sounded like a very sci-fi kind of noise. So I think this is probably not true, but I don't know. I will have to wait to see if there is another shoe that drops here. For example, if some of the people that took this footage will come out and speak publicly. But let me know what you guys think. Meanwhile, we're starting to see some video from the awesome conference, Contact in the Desert. I wish I could have gone to that. But here we go. Here's a few comments from Danny Sheehan talking about the review panel, the review board that would be put in place by the Schumer-Rounds Amendment if it gets revamped, and that was nixed in the last go-round.
UFOs or the non-human intelligence that's responsible for them, all of that information would be handed over to the panel, the 9-person panel. In that panel were the ones to make the decision as to how much of that was going to be made public additionally. Now, and very importantly, they also put into the statute that that panel was going to develop and articulate a UFO controlled disclosure campaign plan for all of this information to be made public. And then they would provide that plan to the president. And the president was instructed to undertake that disclosure pursuant to that plan. And the president could modify it, but that was going to be subject to review by Congress. Okay, so what we're really talking about here is as of one day after the public revelation of the testimony of David Grush to the Congress of the United States, the United States Senate commanded the beginning of disclosure. And that they said,
very cool. Go David Grush. Go Congress for acting on what David Grush said. I still have my qualms about the review panel, the gatekeeping committee, possibly led by a former director of the CIA. But, we need something, right? We need more than what we've got now. Is it this review board? Is it a select committee or a subcommittee from the House? Led by people like Timberched and, Moskowitz and Luna, people who seem sincerely devoted to this and also transparency, unlike CIA directors. Whatever. We definitely need more than what we've got now. So, Danny's all on board the review panel thing. Maybe that's the way to go. He definitely has more access to the machinations of Washington than I do. So, let me know what you think, how people should proceed. And I will link to this full talk from Contact in the Desert, and you can listen to the full thing at your leisure. He's got some great things to say, as always, and he's doing fantastic work with New Paradigm Institute. I can't wait to see where things go. Meanwhile, speaking of Anna Paulina Luna, she has been talking more about getting men in blacked. The less I say about that, the better, but here she is.
Tell me about you've heard about the UAPs, UFOs.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So I got Men in Blacked. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's crazy. But ultimately what happened is, being a member of Oversight, we follow up with whistleblowers, and we also can conduct our own investigation. So myself, Representative Burchett from Tennessee, and Representative Gates were on a small codel to the Panhandle because a whistleblower came forward from Eglin Air Force Base pilots to Representative Gates' office saying that the Air Force was essentially covering up UAP activity and we needed to look into it. So we coordinated the meeting. Pentagon tried to initially cancel the first one. We got it back on the books. We show up there and we get in, and the base commander tried to basically tell us that we didn't have authorized clearance to look into and speak to some of the witnesses, of which you don't tell Congress that we don't have the authorized clearance, especially members of House Armed Services, Oversight, and Judiciary. So I kind of had it out with the base commander, which is kind of funny because this guy really thought that he had it going on, and he actually, in the middle of our meeting, he took off on leave, which never happens with a delegation going to military base. But then also too, we had pretty sure people from the agency that were there as well. And so you really don't find that. I've worked at Hurlburt Field. I worked in the military for a number of years. And so why would a intelligence agency need to be there on a meeting for whistleblowers? So that happened. I can tell you, based on my investigations, not in a classified setting, that I absolutely believe that there is things that are advanced technologies not of human origin. And then we conducted the interview with David Grush. As you saw, it was one of the most widely attended congressional hearings in U.S. history.
So there you go. I love that we have sitting congresspeople not only talking about the reality of alien technology, but also the reality of the UFO cover-up and giving specific examples of events that were covered up and agencies that were involved in the cover-up and individuals who chose to go on leave rather than deal with it. So, yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. I salute Anna Paulina Luna and others for talking about this. And, keep on fighting the good fight, guys. I love it. I love it. Meanwhile, check this out. Top government UFO hunter, in quotation marks. I love how that's in quotation marks. Now working with defense contractor tied to ET study. The lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is the former head of the U.S. government's UFO UAP investigative agency, AARO. He was hired earlier this year as Chief Technology Officer of a key U.S. national lab that is controlled and operated by a defense contractor strongly implicated in the study of UFOs, including of ET debris. Kirkpatrick, the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, is now with Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Energy, interestingly, and is managed by the private organization Battelle Memorial Institute. Battelle has a no-bid, sole-source, indefinite delivery contract to operate Oak Ridge with no independent oversight. This includes the administration of all assets, staff, equipment, technology, and facilities. Oak Ridge has primary research missions in biology, etc., etc. Kirkpatrick's responsibilities relate to addressing classified R&D challenges. Classified research and development challenges. Very interesting. Kirkpatrick was a Central Intelligence Agency asset from 2005 to 2010. Kirkpatrick likely holds the highest security clearances obtainable. And I've gone over his career before, and yeah, science spook. I think that accurately describes Kirkpatrick. I love that phrase, science spook. That is what his career would indicate. So it is extraordinary that Kirkpatrick, the U.S. government's former leader of UAP study, has affiliated with an organization that has a history of conducting secret research on the phenomena. Actually, it's not that strange at all because it's not the first time that he has been associated with a company that reverse engineers UFOs. But yeah, Battelle, Oak Ridge Labs, Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, etc., all seem like they have their fingers in the UFO pie. And Kirkpatrick is right there with them. So, but I love that more people are talking about this, even if it is only UFOexplorations.com. But yeah, Kirkpatrick is seemingly not just some stooge that's carrying out his shift, at Arrow and who doesn't believe in UFOs and is, poo-pooing all of this. He is seemingly an active disinformation official. And why? Well, it's because he actually works on UFOs. Or at least UFO tech. So, absolutely. So hats off to this article and others like it, telling the truth about the lovely SK. Meanwhile, we've got Steven Spielberg, who is making a new UFO movie. Not a whole lot of details about it. Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment have announced a new UFO movie directed by Steven Spielberg, set to be released May 15th, 2026. The studio described this upcoming movie as an event film. Yeah, so what do you think? Is Steven Spielberg going to tie in some of the latest news and research into his movie? Close Encounters of the Third Kind definitely incorporated a lot of the science or the information available about UFOs at the time. Even talking about some of the paranormal aspects associated with UFOs. And it even had a character based on Jacques Vallée. So, I love that movie. Great movie. I am that guy mashing his potatoes. Totally relate to Richard Dreyfuss in that movie. So what will this new movie be about? Will it be like that? Or will it just be, popcorn entertainment, all, War of the Worlds and stuff like that? We may have even gotten some truth in the movie E.T. I mean, E.T. looks a whole lot like the Nazca mummies. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but there is a startling resemblance. Meanwhile, in India, this is going on. I think this is super fascinating. I've heard about stuff like this. Now, it's hard to tell how much of this is the power of suggestion or culture and how much of it is real. But I know, from people that I know who have interacted with some of these high-level guru-type people, there are certain individuals that seem like they have the ability. They enter a room and they're these high-vibrating, high-functioning individuals, highly connected individuals. And they can just tap your forehead and open your third eye or induce a Kundalini awakening, stuff like that. There do seem to be individuals that can do that. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but it's a colorful video and I thought I'd share it with you and get your thoughts. Maybe you have more information on this ceremony than I do because that's all I've got. Let me know what you think is going on here. Is this the power of suggestion that is causing these people to go into fits when they are being touched by this guru? If I'm using the proper word for the individual doing this. So let me know what you think is going on here. But the different modalities of people connecting to the energies and stuff, I find really fascinating. Like the dervish dance, I think is super, super fascinating. And I think these are, some of these are legitimate ways of connecting with this energy, and super cool. Meanwhile, from Michael Schratt on the Richard Dolan show, Michael is talking about how a UFO retrieval went, and the problems inherent in moving a UFO, especially across the water. I believe this is the Kingman UFO, or one of the Kingman UFOs, since there are likely up to 3 UFOs that were involved in that incident. But anyway, here he is talking about transporting one of these objects
to a certain base, and they're stringing cables across the Colorado River. They're trying to get this thing across the passway on the Hoover Dam roadway, but the lighting fixtures are too close in because this thing is, the diameter is exceeding the road width. So they actually go into a put-in about 100 feet north of the north wall of the Hoover Dam. They float a barge down the Colorado River, and they roll the M25 tank transporter with the dish-shaped craft up on the top of it onto this barge, and they're moving this thing across the Colorado River. This is at night, and all of a sudden, according to Harry Drew, the cable snapped, and this barge is now going down the Colorado River, and it actually makes contact with the north wall of the Hoover Dam.
You've got an out-of-control UFO, guys, on a barge. Man, what had happened if that thing had just floated down the river and been found by some local, right? Wild story. I love it. I wonder how many crazy, colorful stories there are about transporting UFOs. And you start to think about, the people doing this. I imagine the control group as this smooth, slick operation, but I bet they've had a lot of bungles and a lot of shenanigans that have happened that, things could have gone awry. How many times was disclosure, almost did it almost happen because of a mistake made by the humans transporting these vehicles? Or just things that couldn't be helped, like a cable snapping. Really fascinating stuff to consider. So thank you, Michael Schratt, for your awesome research. Last but not least, check out this thing. I want one of these. This looks like fun, guys. I totally want one of these. That looks awesome. What the heck? I mean, yeah, you could get some alien queens in serious trouble with that thing, right? Yeah, I love it. Leave the trees alone. Leave the trees alone. But man, that is a badass piece of machinery. I want to see that in action. I want to see some, some fights. They have a few years ago, they were having the TV shows where they had the robots fighting each other. I want to see these guys fighting each other. Man, you could have a lot of fun with those things. Okay, and this is the early days of mech suits. Think of where we're going to be with mech suits 10 years from now, or mech vehicles, whatever this thing is. Anyway, super cool, guys. So let me know what you think about the age of mech suits and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the bell and all that other kind of good stuff. There are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I will see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.